The Demiurge. The name itself carries the weight of cosmic condemnation. Across countless interpretations of Gnostic cosmology, it's branded as the architect of our suffering, the malevolent creator of this tangible yet often agonizing material realm, a force that has trapped humanity within a cycle of pain and illusion. But is this portrait truly a reflection of the Demiurge's essence, or merely a caricature born from our own earthly frustrations? Is it possible that we've reduced a complex cosmic entity to a simplistic villain, ignoring the subtle shades of gray that might color its actions? What if, instead of pure malevolence, we're dealing with a being operating under inherent limitations, a cosmic craftsman working with flawed tools and a distorted blueprint? Consider the Demiurge not as a force of pure malevolence, but as a being operating under profound limitations. Its creation, marked by cracks and imperfections, might not be a testament to inherent evil, but rather to the constraints imposed upon it. How we interpret those flaws reveals more about our own perspectives than the Demiurge's true nature. The Demiurge, far from being a monolithic figure, was interpreted in diverse ways across the spectrum of Gnostic thought. This lack of uniformity reveals a profound complexity, suggesting that even within Gnosticism, the Demiurge's nature remained a subject of intense debate. Some sects, for instance, viewed the Demiurge's creation as a cosmic error, a tragic misstep rather than a deliberate act of malice. In this view, the Demiurge is akin to a craftsman who, working with imperfect tools and a flawed understanding, unintentionally creates a flawed product. This interpretation suggests a degree of innocence, or at least a lack of malicious intent, raising the possibility of redemption or correction. If the Demiurge's actions were born of ignorance, could it be guided towards a greater understanding? Then there's the perspective of the necessary evil. In this interpretation, the Demiurge, despite its flaws, plays a crucial role in the unfolding of the cosmic drama. Its creation, while imperfect, serves a purpose within a larger, more complex balance. This view implies a kind of cosmic necessity, suggesting that even suffering and imperfection have a place in the grand scheme of things. It raises the question, can something flawed still be essential? Perhaps the most intriguing interpretation is that of the prison warden. Here, the Demiurge isn't seen as a malevolent tyrant, but as a misguided protector, believing it's guarding the pleroma from external threats. This perspective adds a layer of tragic irony, suggesting that the Demiurge, in its misguided attempt to protect the divine realm, inadvertently creates a prison for humanity. This view paints the Demiurge as a being who is profoundly wrong but motivated by a warped sense of duty. Each of these variations drastically alters our understanding of the Demiurge's actions and motivations. A cosmic error opens the door to potential redemption. A necessary evil suggests a complex, if unsettling, cosmic balance. And the prison warden view introduces a tragic element of misguided protection. But how did these differing interpretations influence the various Gnostic groups? Did certain sects emphasize the Demiurge's ignorance to promote a message of hope and redemption? Did others focus on its role as a necessary evil to explain the presence of suffering in the world? And did the prison warden perspective inspire a sense of urgency, a need to escape the Demiurge's illusory control? These questions lead us to the specific texts and practices of those ancient communities, showing that the Demiurge wasn't just a theological concept, but a living, breathing part of their spiritual experience. Sophia occupies a pivotal yet often tragic role in the Demiurge's genesis. She isn't merely a passive bystander, but an active participant in the creation of the material world. Her longing for the pleroma became so intense that it manifested as a cosmic yearning, a profound grief. This yearning was a catalyst, the very seed from which the Demiurge emerged. This wasn't a pristine, intentional act of creation, a deliberate manifestation of divine will. Instead, it was a messy, emotional birth, a spontaneous and uncontrolled outpouring of Sophia's sorrow. The Demiurge, in this sense, is a child of grief, a product of cosmic longing born from the very depths of Sophia's yearning for her lost home. This emotional origin story fundamentally alters our perception of the Demiurge, transforming it from a purely malevolent entity to a being born of complex, even tragic circumstances. Furthermore, some Gnostic texts suggest that Sophia, realizing the imperfection of her unintended creation, actively sought to correct the Demiurge's mistakes. She didn't abandon her offspring to its flawed existence. Instead, she subtly influenced its creation, attempting to guide it towards a more harmonious and enlightened path. This subtle influence might manifest as whispers of divine knowledge or sparks of true light within the Demiurge's creation, or even direct interventions in the course of cosmic events. And this adds an extraordinary layer of complexity to the Demiurge's narrative. It suggests that the Demiurge isn't acting entirely independently, but is constantly being influenced, even subtly manipulated by Sophia's attempts to rectify her initial error. The Demiurge's creation is not a singular monolithic act, but a dynamic interplay between its own flawed intentions and Sophia's corrective interventions. This ongoing struggle between imperfection and redemption, between ignorance and wisdom, lies at the heart of the Gnostic understanding of the material world. The Demiurge's ignorance isn't just a lack of information, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of true reality. Is it a lack of access or a self-imposed blindness? Perhaps it is a side effect of being birthed outside the pleroma, and this ignorance shapes its perception, leading it to believe it's the sole creator. It's trapped in its own limited reality, unable to see the bigger picture. This fundamental understanding shapes the Demiurge's perception of itself and its creation. It leads it to believe that it is the sole creator, the supreme architect of all that exists. It's trapped in a self-constructed echo chamber where its own limited understanding is constantly reinforced. This self-deception has profound consequences. It prevents the Demiurge from recognizing the true source of its being, the pleroma, and the divine sparks trapped within its creation. It's unable to see the bigger picture, the intricate tapestry of cosmic events unfolding beyond its limited perception. The Demiurge's ignorance isn't just a personal failing. It's a cosmic tragedy. It perpetuates a cycle of illusion and suffering, trapping both itself and its creation in a limited reality. This ignorance is the very foundation upon which the material world is built, a world defined by imperfection and separation from the divine. To truly understand the Demiurge, we must venture beyond the realm of cosmic mechanics and into the uncharted territory of its possible psychology. Does this being, often depicted as a mere cosmic force, experience emotions akin to our own? Does it feel fear, the primal instinct to protect its own existence? Does it grapple with insecurity, a nagging doubt about its own power and legitimacy? Or, perhaps, it's consumed by jealousy, a bitter resentment towards the true God and the pleroma it can never fully comprehend? Does the Demiurge in its self-imposed isolation feel a profound sense of loneliness? Does it long for connection, for recognition, even as it denies the existence of a reality beyond its own? Is it aware of the true God, the source of all being, and if so, does this knowledge inspire awe or a paralyzing fear? Does it fear being proven wrong, having its created reality shattered? These questions are not mere speculation. They delve into the very core of the Demiurge's motivation. If it experiences fear, that fear might manifest as a need to control, to solidify its power over the material realm. If it feels insecurity, that insecurity might drive it to create illusions, to reinforce its own sense of importance. If it's consumed by jealousy, that jealousy might explain the imperfections and suffering woven into its creation. These psychological factors, these potential emotions, likely exert a profound influence on the Demiurge's actions. It's not simply a cosmic force operating according to predetermined laws. It's a being with its own internal struggles, its own emotional turmoil. This internal conflict could explain the paradoxical nature of its creation, a world filled with both breathtaking beauty and unbearable suffering. It's crucial to remember that the Demiurge, despite its flaws, is not entirely devoid of creative power. It possesses a spark of divinity, however distorted, which allows it to shape the material world. This spark, combined with its emotional complexities, leads to a creation that is both a reflection of the divine and a manifestation of its own internal struggles. The Demiurge's control over humanity extends far beyond mere physical constraints. Through its archons, these lesser beings that serve as its agents, it orchestrates a sophisticated system of perceptual manipulation, crafting illusions and distractions that keep humans tethered to the material realm. It's not just about building walls and chains, but about shaping the very way we perceive reality. The archons manipulate our senses, feeding us carefully curated information, distorting our understanding of truth and falsehood. They create a constant barrage of distractions, from the allure of material possessions to the fleeting pleasures of the senses, keeping our attention fixated on the ephemeral, preventing us from looking beyond the veil. This manipulation isn't merely a means of control, it's a fundamental aspect of the Demiurge's self-preservation. By convincing humans that the material world is the sole reality, it reinforces its own belief in its creation. It's a form of cosmic gaslighting where the Demiurge constantly asserts its dominance, attempting to erase any doubt about its authority. The illusions created by the Demiurge and his archons are not just external. They infiltrate our minds, shaping our thoughts and emotions. They feed on our fears, our desires, and our insecurities, using them to strengthen their grip on our consciousness. They create a feedback loop where our own beliefs reinforce the Demiurge's control, trapping us in a cycle of illusion and dependence. This manipulation of perception is the Demiurge's most potent weapon. It's the key to maintaining its power, to keeping humanity enslaved to its flawed creation. By controlling what we see, what we believe, and what we feel, it ensures that we remain trapped within its limited reality, forever yearning for a liberation that we can barely imagine. The Demiurge's creation, far from being a chaotic incident, can be interpreted as a meticulously structured system of karmic retribution or predetermined fate. It's a world where actions, whether intentional or not, inevitably lead to consequences, where the past casts a long shadow over the present and future. It's a realm where patterns repeat, where cycles of suffering and redemption unfold according to an unseen yet seemingly rigid cosmic law. This interpretation suggests that the material world is not merely a random collection of events, but a carefully calibrated system designed to enforce a form of cosmic justice. The Demiurge, in this view, is not just a creator, but a cosmic administrator, ensuring that every action is met with an appropriate reaction. This connection to karma and fate adds another layer to the Demiurge's complexity, transforming it from a simple villain into a figure of profound, albeit unsettling, significance. This interpretation raises profound questions about free will and destiny. Are we merely puppets bound by the karmic chains of past actions, or do we possess the ability to transcend our predetermined fate? Is a Demiurge a tyrant enforcing a rigid system of cosmic justice, or a misguided guardian attempting to maintain a balance that it barely understands? The Demiurge's connection to karma and fate suggests that the material world is not a random occurrence, but a carefully orchestrated system of cause and effect. This system, however flawed, provides a sense of order and predictability, even as it perpetuates cycles of suffering. It's a world where every action has a consequence, where every choice shapes our destiny. It's a system that can be seen as a prison or as a school, where lessons are learned through experience. It's a system that is both beautiful and terrible. The Demiurge, far from being confined to the dusty pages of ancient texts, has found a powerful resurgence in modern culture, reinterpreted as a potent metaphor for a range of contemporary anxieties. It's a testament to the enduring relevance of this figure that it continues to speak to our deepest fears and concerns. The Demiurge's story is not just a historical curiosity. It's a mirror reflecting our own anxieties, our own struggles with power, control, and the nature of reality. By examining the Demiurge's flaws, we confront our own limitations, our own tendencies to create illusions and reinforce our own biases. It's easy to condemn the Demiurge, to cast it as the ultimate villain, but such simplistic judgment fails to capture the true essence of this enigmatic figure. The Demiurge's story is a cautionary tale. It's a reminder that even the most powerful of beings can be trapped by their own limitations, their own flawed perceptions. By exploring its complexities, we challenge our own assumptions, we broaden our perspectives, and we gain a deeper appreciation for the rich tapestry of human thought. We discover that even ancient myths can hold profound relevance for our modern world, offering insights into our own nature, our own fears, and our own quest for meaning. The Demiurge is not a figure in a dusty book. It's a symbol, it's a metaphor, or a reflection of the human condition. By understanding the Demiurge, we understand ourselves a little better, and through that understanding, we may find a path towards greater enlightenment.